Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is still in the description below. It is still your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing a special piece from 2009. This is the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch Apollo 11 40th Anniversary Edition. Now, this watch is in stainless steel, a limited edition of 7,969 pieces. It comes with a spectacular boxed set, including a sterling silver medallion featuring a full-size version of the mission patch design from the first manned mission to the moon. Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, they were aboard Apollo 11 when they made history. You could see the momentous event memorialized in GMT on the dial. Now, the watch is a standard, at least dimensionally standard, Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch, which is to say in steel, 42 millimeters in diameter, 14.6 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 48.5 millimeters, but if you include the end links of the bracelet, which are solid, the total horizontal distance across the wrist is 53.8 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, out of the hand and onto the wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. The Moonwatch has always been a big boy. I have to imagine that Apollo astronauts back in the 60s must have thought this an absolute gargantuan device. Today, it's not oversized, it's full-sized, but still 42 back in 69. This watch must have seemed like a clock on the wrist. Today, I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference if it's on the bracelet. Now, if you were to put it on a strap, I could see it wearing just fine on 14 centimeters circumference. Again, down the barrel, you can get a sense here. Here's your cuff shot. Always going to be a challenge because of the cantilever of the Omega bezel. And then over the top, where you can see that the end links do sort of push out beyond the edge of my wrist. The bracelet, though, is robust. And you can see by 2009, we're into the era of removable links fixed by screws, not pin sleeves. We have solid center links, we have solid end links, we have polished intermediates and a little bit of a staggered link alignment, polished outer faces, satin tops for the most part, thick gauge steel, single fold deployant, twin trigger action, so you got to press both triggers for it to pop open. It's not a friction fit or clamshell system, it's quite secure. And then you have two sets of divots drilled inside the clasp, so with your strap tool you can dismount the spring bar and change the anchoring point to fine-tune the fit. Case is familiar, lyre-style lugs, inward bevel, outward bevel. We've known it since the early 60s on Speedmasters and Seamasters. It still looks good, contemporary, handsome, and provides a platform for differential finishes. We have satin polish, and then the inner bevel is satinated. We also have the so-called professional profile, the 42 millimeter watch with shear guards for the crown and pushers. And then we have a aluminum insert for the tachometer bezel. The tachometer can be used in conjunction with some sort of speedy object, whether it be an aircraft or maybe a racing car, and it starts the kilometer, you start the chrono, it finishes the kilometer, you stop the chrono, you look adjacent to the chrono hands, and you can see that object is traveling just over 300 kilometers. If from start to stop across a kilometer, the chronograph reaches that point, the object is going 300 kilometers per hour. Now, the dial sits underneath a traditional Hesalite. This is something that NASA specifies. Sapphire is more scratch resistant, true, but this thermoplastic here is less likely to shatter in zero gravity. It will crack, it will not fracture. And therefore you don't have to worry about debris in a zero gravity environment where it can get into the lungs, into the eyes, and into the equipment. Taking a quick look on the dial, other than the inclusion of the GMT notation and the Apollo medallion in silver, it is a standard Moonwatch. You can even see one of the qualities of these plexiglass crystals. There's a little Omega logo over the hands at center. That's something people often look for to know whether the crystal is authentic. And of course, being a thermoplastic, you get that wonderfully crazy off-axis distortion. We have dished sub-registers, a triple register chrono, so you're running seconds there, chrono seconds, chrono minutes, chrono hours. Take a quick look at this watch in the dark. It is well loomed, no question about that, including the chrono seconds hand. We're going to flip it over now and take a look at the back of this special edition watch, and you can see a larger edition of the mission patch. This is what's depicted on the dial. It's also the design of the sterling silver coin in the very handsome and bespoke limited edition box and accessory set that comes with this watch. A combination of polish and media blast. Looks really nice. The eagle has landed. The first watch worn on the moon. Individual edition numbering. And then inside the case, it's a standard Moonwatch caliber 1861, based on the Lemania 1873 of Bausch. Manual wind, 48-hour power reserve, 3 Hz beat rate, 18 joules, and a combination of an exceptionally well-tuned cam function selector and a lateral clutch. Now, it still has the jump inherent in a lateral clutch, but the cam actuation here is a testament to the might of Omega and Lemania, that they can tune a cam to feel as crisp as a column wheel. It's a really high-grade caliber. And of course, it is the genuine movement flown by NASA, so it has authenticity. The watch is 50 meters water resistant, so I don't recommend you swim with it since it does have a push-down crown and pump pushers. But in every other regard, this is an all-the-time watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.